42. Dean, Harvard Medical School, 1997 to 2007. Founder, Systems Biology Department, Harvard University. By all accounts, Joseph B. Martin is a hardcore eugenicist just like Boomer, Hockmeyer, Pianka, Sabin, and the rest of the whitecoats at Baxter. Over the course of his career, Martin appears to have contributed nothing to the actual curing of diseases or easing of human suffering, but only directed his efforts towards the study of disease etiology and ways to manipulate sickness and spread it on a massive scale. In this evil pursuit he is no different than the rest of his colleagues. Here are some of Martin's contributions to humanity: the role of pathogenesis of neurodegenerative disorders, the role of dynamic mutations. Neuroreport 1996, 8, IVII, the molecular basis of the neurodegenerative disorders. NENGLJ Med 1999, 340-25-1970, 1980. On the surface, Dr. Martin is a neurology professor who specializes in degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, ALS, and Huntington's, many of which are spreading at incredible rates and are now widely believed to be caused by environmental and medical factors and in particular, by vaccines. It's as if Martin and the other Baxter executives could have never conceived that diseases might have iatrogenic causes. Dr. Martin's research focuses on the application of neurochemical and molecular genetics to better understand the causes of neurological and neurodegenerative disease. Remember, vaccines are essentially dual-use bioweapons. A better understanding of the causes of disease is just the same as learning how to better cause and spread disease among the human population. The difference is only a matter of intention. In 1980, Dr. Martin established the NIH-sponsored Disease Center Without Walls. A disease center without walls. I don't like the sound of that, especially when eugenicists are involved. In 1984, Martin played a key role in establishing the Massachusetts Alzheimer's Disease Research Center. Let's see, after 60 years, there's still no cure for Alzheimer's. It's spreading at alarming rates, there's no end in sight, and it's believed to be caused by environmental factors. Is Dr. Martin actually trying to cure Alzheimer's? If so, his Disease Research Center isn't helping much. In 2003, Martin founded the Systems Biology Department at Harvard. No doubt it was at the behest of his globalist masters. You only have to read the first 2 sentences of the Wikipedia definition of systems biology to realize it is mere pseudoscience masquerading as genuine holistic scientific inquiry, because the scientific method has been used primarily toward reductionism. One of the goals of systems biology is to discover new emergent properties that may arise from the systemic view. In other words, the scientific method need not apply here. Systems biology is just another academic cover for the eugenicist elite's agenda. Not surprisingly, eugenicist Andrew Huxley is known as the forefather of systems biology. Andrew Fielding Huxley was the youngest son of Leonard Huxley and half-brother to Julian and Aldous Huxley, all of whom were inbred, parasitic, elite eugenicists. According to Alan Watt, Aldous Huxley, author of Brave New World, 1931, the novel that eerily predicts the very socio-biological nightmare we are currently living through, died of cancer of the tongue. Did he say too much? Who might have had the viral expertise to kill Aldous with such a targeted cancer at the time? '43. Andrew Fielding Huxley, 1917. Gail D. Fossler, Baxter Director since 2001. Council on Foreign Relations, Bretton Woods Committee, Federal Reserve Bank of New York Advisory Panel, Trustee, the Economic Club of New York. It is industries, not nations, that compete globally. Gail D. Fossler, Chief Economist, the Conference Board, an unabashed globalist. Gail Fossler is President and Chief Economist for the Conference Board, a key policy-making NGO for globalists and bankers. Prior to joining the conference board in 1989, Fossler was chief economist and deputy staff director of the U.S. Senate Budget Committee. The Wall Street Journal twice named Fossler America's most accurate economic forecaster. So, although she has absolutely no biology or chemistry background, it would seem that Fossler knows a bit about pseudoscience herself. Headquartered in New York, the Conference Board is a global organization with offices in Brussels, Hong Kong, India, the Middle East, and Beijing. It began with a 1915 meeting at the Yama Farms Inn in New York, which consisted of the presidents of 12 major corporations and 6 of the foremost industry associations. The gathering included Frank A. Vanderlip, a member of the Jekyll Island Group, the notorious group of bankers that wrote the bill that became the Federal Reserve Act. Frank A. Vanderlip, 1864 to 1937. Joining Fossler on the conference board are 2 fellow globalist scumbags, Harry M. J. Kremer Jr., Vice Chair, former Baxter Chairman and CEO, Director of SAIC, Joseph Ackerman, Vice Chair, Director of Bayer AG, Deutsche Bank AG, Royal Dutch Shell, Siemens, Bilderberg attendee, 2005-2008. Gail Fossler is also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations and the Bretton Woods Committee, Director and a member of the Executive Committee of the National Bureau of Economic Research, and a trustee of the Economic Club of New York. She has served on the advisory panel to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. She is a director of Caterpillar, Incorporated, Unisys Corporation, and H.B. Fuller, one of the world's largest polluters. There are a number of Baxter officials that have also worked for H.B. Fuller. Gail's husband, R. Scott Fossler, is also a globalist public policy hack. Among his publications are The Challenge to New Governance in the 21st Century, Achieving Effective Central-Local Relations, Public-Private Partnership in American Cities, and The New Economic Role of American States, Strategies in a Competitive World Economy. 44. Albert P. L. Strauchen, Netherlands. Baxter Director since 2004. Bayer AG, 1969-1998. H.B. Fuller, 1998-2006. It was during Strauchen's tenure in 1997 that both Bayer and Baxter agreed to a $670 million settlement after knowingly distributing blood products that infected thousands of hemophiliacs with HIV during the 1980s. Bayer has a long history of atrocities dating all the way back to WW2. According to a lawsuit, Bayer paid Nazi officials during World War II for access to concentration camp victims and collaborated in Nazi experiments with Joseph Mengele as a form of research and development for their products. A physician identified only as Dr. Koenig was a representative of Bayer and accompanied Angel of Death Mengele as he performed his grotesque medical experiments at the Nazi concentration camp at Auschwitz. Bayer provided toxic chemicals to the Nazis, and Mengele used them in the experiments, while Koenig recorded the results and reported the information back to Bayer. The Angel of Death, Joseph Mengele, James R. Gavin 3. Baxter Director since 2003. Lieutenant Commander, U.S. Public Health Service, 1971-73. Senior Science Officer, Howard Hughes Medical Institute, 1991-2002. Trustee, Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, another not-for-profit NGO helping to usher in the New World Order. The Howard Hughes Medical Institute is really a front for eugenics research and activities. They even proudly issue a publication called The Genetic Trail. The Howard Hughes Medical Institute, HHMI, is one of the largest private medical research organizations in the U.S., second in funding only to fellow eugenics operation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Unlike most such organizations, HHMI directly employs the researchers it funds, and the 350-plus investigators, as the institute Institute likes to call them, include a dozen Nobel Prize winners. They concentrate primarily on such areas as cell biology, genetics, immunology, and neuroscience, as well as the formerly discussed eugenics, pseudoscience, structural biology. To top it all off, James Baker III is on the board of HHMI. What more needs to be said? Gavin is also involved with the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, another NGO eugenics front. 9/11 cover-up artist Thomas Keane is chairman of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Appendix, Baxter International Officers.
I remember what I was going to say probably a couple videos ago or chapter ago. Monsanto releasing all those modified mosquitoes fits right into what they were talking about, the airborne viruses and the mosquitoes and stuff. And it's okay with the whatever regime is in the U.S. It's just fine with them. They just let them do whatever they want to do.
45. In addition to its board of directors, Baxter officers also indicate deep military, med-industrial, complex, and global eugenicist ties. Here's a quick list. Robert L. Parkinson, Jr., Baxter executive admits heparin contamination appears deliberate. Wilbur H. Gantz, CEO, Pathogenesis, Military Service, USMC, Princeton, Harvard. Harry M. Jansen Kremer, Jr., Director, SAIC, 1997. Vernon R. Laux, Jr., Skull and Bones Society, Military Service, USMC, Director, Harvard Business School, National Institutes of Health Special Advisor, 1983-86. Sabin Vaccine Institute Lifetime Achievement Award, 2006. James R. Tobin, Military Service, U.S. Navy, LT, 1968-72. Evidence Baxter has deliberately contaminated drugs. That vaccine material has been deliberately contaminated, causing death and injury has even been admitted by Baxter CEO Robert Parkinson. Baxter is at the center of a lawsuit alleging that Baxter altered an ingredient in heparin that flowed through heparin syringes to patients, resulting in pain and suffering, and sometimes death, to those affected. Baxter International Chief Executive Robert Parkinson admitted to what looks to be the deliberate contamination of its heparin product, which contributed to 81 deaths and prompted a product recall. He said that a contaminating agent that is an altered form of chondroitin sulfate was purposely added to the material before it reached Baxter's supplier in China. Sturgeon, 2009. http://network.national-post.com/np/blogs/personal-over/2009/baxter-co-8/2019/personal-responsibility-over-drug-contamination.aspx. We are alarmed that one of our products was used in what appears to have been a deliberate scheme to adulterate a life-saving medication, Baxter Chief Executive Officer Robert Parkinson told the House Energy and Commerce Committee's Investigative Subcommittee.
It's not going to matter, if Baxter, I haven't checked to see if Baxter is still around, but whether it's Baxter or Bayer or any of those pharmaceutical companies or research or whatever the hell they're called, producing the vaccines, they're going to go ahead